Hello, ECAN Nation, and welcome to another edition of This Week in Karting. We are recording episode 58. It is January 25th, 2023. Happy Wednesday to everybody. I am David Cole, going to be joined by Nate Dean as we provide you all the major news that has hit the ECAN homepage over the past couple of weeks. Perfect for listening on the way to work or coming home. Ideal for your morning or afternoon commute or while you're working on your kart in the shop or heading to the racetrack. Not heading to the racetrack today. It's a little snowy here outside in Michigan. I'm sure Nate Dean up in Minnesota, you probably have a few inches of snow laying on the ground as well up there in Minnesota.
Yeah, it hasn't snowed recently, but just the cold keeping it on the ground, unfortunately, ready for all this to go away.
I'm sure you're looking forward to another trip down to Florida here in a couple days. So
yeah.
hold tight, be ready. So again, this episode number 58 presented today by Rollison Performance Group. Ready to step up your game? Sorry. Joining the Rollison Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, Super Nationals winners, and Team USA members. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups and are focused on developing those cadet and junior drivers ready to take the next step in their racing program. If you want to fight for championships or need to improve your skills and chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rollison Performance Group. We race to win. Again, Nate, this is our 58th episode. We recorded on January 11th, 2023. So it's been 14 days. So about 2 weeks. You guys had the trip to SuperKarts USA Winter Series opener. Just a day, I think, the next day you guys traveled. So you were traveling there on the 12th to head down to Homestead. A bit of a crazy travel day for Rob and yourself. You luckily got there in a one-way, and Rob was a little bit delayed on some of that. I want to say it was the FAA issues that probably caused his delay. But the first thing up on the item on our checklist is the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour moves Winter Nationals to the Orlando Kart Center. So you were trackside Sunday, and you sent me a text. I sent it Rob as well. Hey, we're publishing the Winter Nationals news, and I'm like, what's this all about? So kind of fill us in on what happened trackside with the announcement, and kind of fill us in on what you know about this whole move to Orlando.
Yeah, so it was based out of where race control was in that entire place. So I was kind of hearing rumblings about it throughout the entire weekend, but wasn't exactly sure what entirely was going on. Finally got the announcement after races on Sunday, where Tom on the Kart Chaser broadcast kind of gave that information out for all to hear. Like you said, NOLA will not be hosting that. It will be going to Orlando. Without getting too into it, just sounded like NOLA changed some of rates or policies for SuperKarts USA and them opting to go to Orlando instead, which I'm looking forward to. It seemed like Orlando is a very, very good track for racing. For a media standpoint, it looks like it's going to be better for pictures, so I'll enjoy that. But yeah, another new track for me, at least when we go there for the Winter Nationals. So looking forward to that one.
Well, I'm kind of upset because last year at this time for the Winter Nationals, I was in Orlando at Disney World. Now they go to Orlando this year, and I'm not going to be in Orlando. I'm going to be elsewhere. So I'm kind of upset that SuperKarts USA is not thinking about me when they make these decisions, because it ruined my pro. Yeah, it ruined my Pro Tour streak. You know, I had a pretty long run going, and the Winter Nationals ruined that for me. But yeah, it's an interesting move. We saw United States Pro Kart Series go to Orlando Kart Center, so we know they can squeeze people into the tighter paddock that they have there. Parking's obviously going to be an issue for regular car traffic, as we saw with the USPKS event last year. But USPKS will be there again in March, so it'll be kind of a precursor to SCUSA. And again, if they get the winter series numbers that they're getting, if they're getting the winter series numbers at the Winter Nationals, it could be, again, a very large event, very similar to what we saw with USPKS. So good to know that the facility is going to be able to hold it. We're obviously going to see some great racing. The Orlando Kart Center has a lot of passing opportunities, makes for very close-knit, tight racing, not a lot of ability to kind of stretch out and get away. So excited for that for the March 30th through April 2nd, 2023, which will open up the 12th season of the SCUSA Pro Tour. So excited to see that happen. And again, we'll have more information on that actual change and some other SCUSA news coming up soon on the EKN radio, or on the EKN homepage. So make sure you stay tuned all week long for that. That'll be coming up either today, tomorrow, or Friday. So we got some news on deck for that. Moving over to another news item that hit the news desk yesterday. Sodi Racing USA has been established. Sodi Kart brand has been very successful throughout the globe. We've seen it here through the United States a number of years. It's had its ups and downs. It's had some good runs. We know Jake French secured his Superkarts USA Pro Tour, his only Pro Tour championship on the Sodi Kart brand back in 2017. We've seen a number of other different drivers do well. I believe Mike Jones picked up a Super Nationals victory as well on the Sodi Kart brand. So this is going to be led by Thierry Germanovich, a very familiar name. He's worked with the Max Speed group here in the United States, but he's also had a long history with the Sodi Kart brand. He's establishing the new The Karting distribution, which the Sodi Racing USA will run underneath. It'll be based in the Coral Springs, Florida area. And really the focus is getting the brand a strong presence back here in the United States and in North America. They're already working with one of the dealers to start developing their dealer network. The Karting Collective out of Sonoma, California. Nick LeDuc has been a longtime Sodi Kart driver. And then so we'll see how Thierry is able to establish and build up that Sodi brand here in the United States. So Nate, that's again, we're seeing an influx of these chassis brands really putting a focus on the USA market.
Yeah, it's just good for American karting and karting in general. Just more interest in the sport, more teams and more manufacturers coming over from Europe and showcasing their product on our side of the pond. So it should be good. More competition and everything can't hurt.
Yeah, as we've seen throughout many of the debriefs that we do conduct in our Constructors Championship at the end of each show, we're getting a good diversity of chassis brands winning. We kind of focus on the winning part of it, but really when you look at it in terms of top 5 and top 10, we're seeing a lot of number of different brands, not only in the headline categories, but throughout all the different age groups, for junior, cadet, and of course, senior and master racing. We're seeing a good diverse range of chassis brands. Again, we've seen a lot of OTK dominance over the last couple of years, but I think, it's great to see the competition. Again, it's more than a Coke versus Pepsi type scenario or Gatorade versus Powerade type scenario. It's multiple brands in contentions for podiums, victories, and championships. So again, we just see the numbers growing here in the USA, and I think that's kind of opened the eye up for Sodi and of course Thierry with the karting distribution and Sodi Racing USA. And so with that, we'll head into our first commercial break as we begin episode 58 of This Week in Karting. So more after this.
Is IndyCar your dream? If it is, for 2023 and beyond, the path from karting to IndyCar has gotten even clearer. It's time to look into the new USF Juniors program and the brand new Tatis JR23. As the first step of the newly rebranded USF Pro Championships presented by Cooper Tires, the USF Junior Series will feature a 6-event, 16-race schedule to train racers for the move into the USF 2000 Championship presented by Cooper Tires. The USF Juniors champion will win a scholarship worth over $248,000, and the total prize fund will exceed $330,000. The series will also debut the new Tatis JR23 race car in 2023, which is a development version of the USF 22 used in USF 2000. It's the ideal entry point for career-minded karters moving on to the car racing ladder. Safety is always front and center in the mind of the series promoters, and the USF Juniors car features a halo, and the races are supported by members of the AMR IndyCar safety team. If IndyCar is your goal, USF Juniors is the starting line. For more information, visit www.usfjuniors.com and follow USF Juniors on social media. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs at many of karting's biggest East Coast events, full product sales and service, and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group is an official Kart Republic race team, providing full trackside support at all the major USA karting events, including the SCUSA Pro Tour, United States Pro Kart Series, SCUSA Super Nationals 25, and other events throughout the 2022 season. TKG has in stock Kart Republic, IAME, MG and Avinco tires, and more products for those in Ohio and the Midwest region. Trinity Karting Group has a long history of the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. You can buy all the latest and greatest products on the market, but when you're karting to win, it boils down to one thing: you, the driver. Gain the knowledge and abilities by investing in yourself at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and you'll find those extra tenths of a second you need to put yourself on the podium. The school was established by SuperKarts USA Hall of Fame driver Alan Rudolph, with decades of victories and championships in multiple forms of the sport, including other disciplines of racing. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, located at the Speed Sports Racing Park in the metropolitan Houston area, is designed to teach driving skills at all levels. The instructors of the Academy have decades of racing experience and educating drivers of all ages. Classes at the Academy will teach the concepts and skills needed both behind the wheel and off the track. From the beginning kart racing experience and intro to karting courses, to their advanced 1-day and 2-day courses and karting clinics, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can improve the skills of any driver. For more information on the specific programs that the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can provide for you, head to speedsports.com and click on the Racing Academy page. Be sure to follow the Academy on social media by searching for Alan Rudolph Racing Academy.
Welcome back to another edition of This Week in Karting. We are recording episode 58 on January 25th, 2023. I am David Cole, joined by Nate Dean as we bring you some of the news and topics surrounding the sport of karting. One of the big news or good news to hear is K1 Circuit has named Mike Smith as the general manager. So a very familiar name we're accustomed to. Mike Smith, a former GM of the now defunct Cal Speed Karting Center that is no longer at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. Again, that facility went on from 2004 to 2022. So a very good run for essentially what was a temporary circuit, but really a full-time facility, working basically 51 weeks, if not more, out of the year. So good to see Mike Smith kind of land his feet, and great to see K1 Circuit, Nate, kind of build a good relationship with the SoCal region really national karting, because Mike's very familiar with all the race teams and programs that do compete and travel to the Southern California area.
Yeah, and obviously Mike's going to steer the track in the right direction there, so there shouldn't be any worries with a brand new circuit. Should work out just fine. Obviously, some races coming their way in the foreseeable future. Hopefully they can still host those and everything's ready by then, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, just overall good to see Mike getting this job, and obviously I don't think there's anyone, especially in that region, that could do it better than him.
Yeah, and we'll be able to speak with Mike directly here at the beginning of March when he's working as announcer. I'm assuming he's still going to be working as the announcer for Challenge of the Americas PKRA event, which will be the first weekend of March. So he's worked obviously with us the past 2 Super Nationals as announcer or co-announcer with Rob Howden, and then of course this year with Xander Clements at Super Nationals 25. Again, we anticipate the facility to be opening in the spring of 2023. Again, the track's laid out. It's just getting all the amenities surrounding the facility or the racetrack itself built and ready to welcome both rental kart racers and competition karters as well. So we'll keep an eye on things going on at K1 Circuit, and luckily we'll have kind of an insight view into it with Mike Smith and get a direct feed into what's going on at the Southern California racetrack. Next on our topic list is an OKN update. Again, this is a new engine platform that is debuting for the 2023 season. FIA is really focused on getting a hold of a global engine platform that can be used anywhere and throughout all the different ASN or national programs. And right now, looking at the progression of it, right now it's not looking too good, at least with the WSK postponing its engine debut right now. So this weekend, the WSK was scheduled is competing at the South Garda karting facility for their Champions. Was it the Champions Cup, I believe, going on this weekend. Originally was going to host the OKN categories, but they have decided to postpone this weekend, and I believe the second event of the WSK program, and we'll look to establish that category later. Challenge of the Americas is also trying to get this class to debut here in the USA. We've already seen some on-track sessions for some drivers testing, but right now they've decided to not only waive the late fee, because again, they're still working on getting people signed up and people getting ready to compete in the category. So they've waived the at-track fee for that because they've already passed the pre-registration deadline. So they'll waive for this category. They'll waive the at-track fee or late fee. But also, it's going to be a non-championship category. That's they're kind of going to focus on a weekend by weekend format for the OKN category, because again, some drivers are still getting accustomed to this category or getting product for this category. So again, it's a changing scenario in terms of this class. Again, just it's basically reliant, Nate, on the manufacturers and getting the parts and engines available for competitors to utilize.
Yeah, and like you said, it's hard rolling out these whatever it is new in racing from WSK. Them basically saying the decision is due to ongoing tests by teams for technical preparation, whatever you want to decipher that as.
I was gonna say that's just PR code for, hey, the manufacturers aren't ready yet. I mean, you think about it, they probably have a lot of racers that are ready to go. They just don't have the engines ready. And so, again, we've seen this before. Great example. Superkarts USA tried to get the 175 going. And I think they didn't give themselves enough lead time for not only race teams and engine builders to get accustomed to it. It just wasn't ready. It really wasn't ready. They didn't have the true at-track testing that they needed, I think, to make it roll out good and to where maybe, the FAA is pushing this a little too quickly. Maybe it should have waited till 2024 to really get this out there, because if the manufacturers aren't ready, which, they're not going to tell you that, But I mean, I think that's what it boils down to right now.
Yeah, and you can make all the comments and jokes about this is very typical FIA fashion, but I mean, yeah, I agree with you on maybe they were pushing this a bit too quickly. It doesn't seem like too long ago that we were putting up the PR about their plans for the OKN category and for this brand new engine, because that was late summer, early fall. I think that news was breaking, and
Yeah,
they had
I think it
ambition.
was June, July of 2022 when they made the announcement. But they had already had, I assume the pilot engine platform ready to go. So, but they just didn't have the mass production ready to go. And I think that's the issue where we're getting into, because I mean, it's no different from what, during COVID, we saw there, engine manufacturers were having a hard time getting product out. And basically 2022 has been about getting raw material. I think that's kind of been the issue there. So that kind of has limited production as well too. So I think, I really think it could have waited and, had all the other engine platforms that all the manufacturers work with, get those situated for the year, and then focus on getting mass production done on the OKN product, getting it ready, getting it out there. So everybody has a full year of testing under their belt. Again, you race all weekend on the OK product, and then you can use that Monday to test the OKN product. Just again, I don't know, but it's good to see that we do have engines in hand. We saw first laps in Tucson by MPG Motorsports driver Chase Jones online, so he was able to share some onboard footage. Nate, did you get to view that video? And if so, did anything kind of stand out during his onboard?
No, I haven't gotten around to looking at that yet.
I kind of almost want to write a column. I think I might do that before we get into next weekend. Some of the comments were, why does this thing have a rev limiter? And why isn't it not ripping up faster than the engines we already have? Well, that's not the focus of this engine platform. I hate to break it to everybody thinking that this is going to be a monster engine and be one of the most quickest and powerful power plants that you've ever put on your kart. That's not the goal of this engine platform whatsoever. This is basically a sportsman category for the OK platform for FIA to utilize. They see what's going on with the 100cc package, not only here in the United States, but also in Australia and other areas around the country. And I think they're looking at a way to mix all the engine manufacturers into one with this basically a sportsman style engine platform. Kind of, wouldn't you agree with that, Nate? This is kind of a detuned elite engine, because this is not the true OK engine that you are seeing at the World Championships or European Championships or even at the WSK major events in Europe.
Yeah, and I think it's just them with the FIA, with what they were trying to do with the ladder system of engines and trying to make it more economical for everyone to get into. So I think you're definitely right on that. You're not going to see this engine be the fastest thing that we've ever seen in karting that you're going to strap on. I think you're totally right on. And I mean, with what you said, and again, the issue of affordability in karting is starting to become ever more and more present. And it's a good idea from the FIA to make this more affordable, but the execution so far hasn't been the greatest.
Yeah. And again, get everybody on the same platform, because again, racing here in the United States is different from Australia, New Zealand, and especially in Europe, where the focuses are completely different. But FIA sees an opportunity. They're trying to get everybody on the same page, and it could work out. Again, it's like you said, it's a little bit of a bumpy road so far in the rollout of it, but it has promise. I think that's one thing we can agree. It does have a promise, and if everybody kind of sees what it could be, I think it'll move forward. So it's kind of, again, a wait and see. But I am excited to see what happens at Challenging America's opener next weekend in Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona. So we'll have more all weekend on the OK engines and give you kind of a look and sound and feel of those power plants once we get there trackside. Next on the item list, Skip Barber awards 2 scholarships at the WK Daytona Kart Week. That included 4-cycle racers Colin Warren and Ava Hansen, who are able to earn the, I believe it was the weekend total in the 2 categories that were dignified. I would believe it was Briggs 206 Medium and Briggs 206 Junior that were the 2 categories that were selected to earn these 2 scholarships. So Nate, a pretty cool package for both Colin Warren and Ava Hansen to be able to get into some open wheel cars.
Yeah, for sure. And it was good to see for them. They're both each receiving a 3-day Formula Schools package. It's around $19,000. So obviously you'll take that. It's the official racing school of the USF Pro Championship, presented by Cooper Tires, of course, and then the champion of the 2023 Skip Barber Formula Race Series. We offered over $100,000 scholarship to either USF Juniors or USF 2000. So it should be, if they do excel and do well in this, it should be a good career boost for them.
Yeah, both Warren and Ava Hansen have the opportunity to go from the 3-day school package into the Skip Barber Formula Race Series program. Again, another different drivers having the opportunity to join that race series can contact Skip Barber Racing Schools and have the opportunity to compete for that $100,000 scholarship to either USF Juniors or the USF 2000 program for the 2024 season. So again, a great gap bridge from karting to cars that is Skip Barber offering up this program. And again, great to see Colin Warren and Ava Hansen earn these 2 scholarships. So for that, we will head into our next commercial break, and we will have more after these messages on this episode of This Week in Karting.
There's a new hot button name in American safety equipment: Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track, and their karting lineup is second to none. The ST5 KRT karting helmet is available for $599. Manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material, the KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for the younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision. The perfect youth helmet is available for $549. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva Rib Protector is unlike any on the market, with its form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. Head to StiloHelmets.com to review these and many more products to keep you safe on the track. Stilo. Any competition, one helmet. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the 2023 season include the Ignite Majors, which begins with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week as part of both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, which just finished up a record-setting season in 2022. Local club programs have also been established in other states all across the country, from Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast fun and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and out onto the track in 2023. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. Cometic Gasket is a leading worldwide supplier of gaskets and engine sealing solutions for karting, automotive performance, power sports, original equipment, and the remanufactured engine industries. Cometic karting gaskets are available as OE replacement top-end kits or as individual gaskets and seals. Just like competitive karters, Cometic can operate on the fly and has the unique capability to customize any gasket to meet specific engine requirements and clearances. All of Cometic's fiber materials are asbestos-free and do not require any additional sealants. Viton oil ring cylinder head seals are used in each 2-cycle kit, and Cometic's 4-cycle engine kits feature only the most advanced multi-layer steel head gaskets. Cometic can tailor to engine builder-specific needs through bulk ordering and packaging flexibility. Cometic gaskets are must-haves for championship-winning teams across multiple disciplines of both professional and amateur motorsports. Cometic Gasket, sealing championships since 1989.
Welcome back to our our next segment of This Week in Karting, episode number 58. It is January 25th, 2023. I am David Cole, joined by Nate Dean, as we provide you some news and notes and topics regarding the sport of karting over the last 2 weeks since we've aired our last episode. Getting into some schedule programs for the 2023 season. Nate, you were able to kind of break down the 2023 Pad Holder Super Cup Series schedule for the upcoming summer season in the Pacific Northwest region.
Yeah, so quite a bit of races for these guys. Obviously, starting off their season mid-April, the 14th through the 16th at Tri-City Kart Club in Washington. Most of these, pretty much all these races, happening in Washington with a couple visits to Oregon between the sprint and the road racing side of things. May 5th through 7th, Portland Karting Association, and then you move on to June 9th through 11th. That'll be Puget Sound Go-Kart Association. July 7th through 9th, Spokane Kart Racing Association. August 4th through 6th, Summit International Motorsport Academy. And then road racing having 5 events at 4 tracks: Pacific Raceway, The Ridge, Oregon Raceway Park, and Portland International Raceway. A lot of racing action, a lot of classes to choose from, covered this series a lot throughout 2022. Very, very interesting. Had some very good racing throughout the entire of the series. Obviously, Padholder supercup.com for any more additional information. They're also on Facebook if you want to get in contact that way, but should be a big season for Padholder in 2023.
Yeah, they are the only program that actually promotes both sprint racing and road racing. There was a few back in the past, Dark Kart Club in Ohio, one of the founding kart clubs early on in the sport of karting. They promoted both sprint racing and road racing. Now they do primarily road racing, but the Padholder Super Cup Series, the only program here in North America that promotes both sprint and road racing. So it makes it a very unique program because they have actually a lot of the road racers are actually officials for the sprint program. So it makes it unique. And then you get some crossovers in terms of racers. So again, a very cool program they have going up there in the Pacific Northwest, and at padholdersupercup.com. Get more information there. And then something new for the 2023 season, as the Cup Karts North America program continues to expand, as they have now announced the launching of the Northeast Divisional Series. So now the 4th different divisional introduced for the Briggs & Stratton 206 focused platform, as the Cup Karts North America attacks the Northeast region of the country. Nate, they are scheduled to have 4 events on the 2023 calendar. Yeah,
so they'll be starting off their season at Spring Spring Nationals is what is happening at Charlotte
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, March 3rd through 5th. Getting into the more specific northeastern side of things, Oakland Valley Raceway Park is April 14th through 16th. Middle of the season will be at New Jersey Motorsports Park, the 2nd through the 4th, and they'll be capping off their year at Pittsburgh International Complex, July 28th through 30th. So a bit of a early end for a race series.
Yeah, you got North Carolina, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. So 4 different states represented. And again, 4 different and unique facilities for sure. You got Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is almost a Talladega type facility with how smooth and flat out that is. Oakland Valley Raceway Park, one of the old school racetracks in the Northwest region. New Jersey Motorsports Park, one of the longer racetracks in the country. There at the I think it's outside the Tempest, or it might have been the Lightning. I can't remember which full racetrack it's outside, but that one is a unique racetrack in itself. Again, multiple different configurations. So it'll be interesting to see what they select there to maybe go maybe a shorter or narrower or shorter and tighter racetrack rather than the full distance they have there. And then you go to Pittsburgh. Pit race is again a unique racetrack. The elevation will catch you off guard. I've done that racetrack in a rental cart, and it is a unique one, and certainly puts the challenge to the drivers themselves. So great for 206 racing. And again, the club program there that they have at Pit Race continues to grow. So it's great to see them having the opportunity to kind of showcase their racetrack and maybe defend the home turf there at Pittsburgh. And with that, we will head into our final commercial break. Again, this week in karting, episode number 58, when we'll have our final segment after these messages.
Made in the USA. That's exactly what you get from Precision Karting Technologies. Based in Detroit, Michigan, PKT brings over 35 years of manufacturing experience to the sport of karting. Their passion for the sport began focusing around the Kid Kart platform and has expanded every year with hundreds of products designed to put you on the podium. Precision Karting Technologies is known around North America for their successful line of axles, available in all age groups. PKT manufactures a number of engine products for Comer, IAME, Rock, Rotax, and the popular Briggs & Stratton 206. A wide variety of chassis components for the many brands in the sport are available through PKT, including hubs, pedal risers, skid plates, and other hardware for your kart. Axle straightening, chassis adjustments, engine service, and specific CNC machining projects are available through their Motor City headquarters. To learn more about the many products and services available from Precision Karting Technologies, head to pktaxles.com.
Wins in the sport's biggest races and championships in national and regional series all over the country, they're all on Nitro Kart's growing resume. Nitro Kart continues to make its statement as the best, fastest, and winningest cadet chassis on the American market. In 2021, Nitro Kart won the 3 biggest crowns in America in the Micro Swift division, with Mateo Rosu in the SCUSA Pro Tour and both the Super Nationals and the USPKS titles with Keelan Harvick. At the Super Nats alone, 3 of the top 5 drivers on the podium got there on a Nitro Kart. The results are clear. If you want to win in cadet, get a Nitro Kart and join our team. At Nitro Kart, we're all about driver development. Nick Tucker and the Nitro Crew's racing resumes are extensive, and their passion for helping our kids learn is unparalleled. Racing is about consistent learning, and that's what we're all about here at Nitro Kart. Never wanting to quit, we've continued to extend the reach of our driver development program. In addition to expanding into the junior and senior karting categories, we've also launched Nitro Motorsports, which will field 2 cars this season in the Trans Am by Pirelli series, one being piloted by karting champion Brent Cruz. Not only can we develop your young driver, but we can also provide the platform if a move to cars is in your plan. And our second seat is available. If you're serious about your driver's career, contact us today.
In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry, with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com.
And we are back for our final segment of This Week in Karting, episode number 58. It is January 25th, 2023. We've provided some of the major news and topics surrounding the sport of karting. I am David Cole, joined by Nate Dean. Now we'll get into kind of the ECAN side of things, what you have seen or what you can catch on the website and across all our social media platforms and media outlets. Right now in the ECAN editorial side of things, you can see the ECAN trackside coverage from the Superkarts USA Winter Series program at the AMR Homestead Miami Motorplex presented by MG Tires. That was conducted on January 13th through the 15th. Nate, if there's one thing that really stood out on that weekend and during your coverage, what was that?
I think a couple of surprise winners.
No, just one.
There's a couple of surprise winners. There's a lot of people who kept their momentum from Supernats. Just one. I think I go Donovan Vanilla with his win in X30 Senior. That was kind of the story of the weekend, I think.
I think that's a great standout. Again, he beat Ryan Norberg, Mateus Morgado, all the other drivers that have been front runners, and now kind of put himself in that scenario and that stage of, hey, I can go out and win. So that'll be interesting to see when you guys do go back in a couple of weeks to see if he's able to kind of repeat that performance or at least get himself back on the podium going in the opposite direction. So that's a great point. I like that. Flying solo, Tiffany Kelly samples the Stars Championship Series. That is her latest edition in the series column series that is she is producing about her introduction into shifter kart racing and karting in general, coming from car racing into karts. So it's a great series. She got to experience that event at the Motorsports Country Club by herself. So again, the flying solo title goes hand in hand with that, and how Nate, and I'm sure you see it at the club level all the time, how really you're never really alone when you're at the kart track. You got to always have a host of people willing to lend a hand or help you out when needed.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the better things about our sport. And obviously, for most tracks, whenever you come into it as a newcomer or at a club level, it's going to be, no one's going to be like, we don't really want to help you. Everyone's going to be helpful and kind and willing to give you all the setup information until obviously you get quick is what the joke is, in which case all the help goes away. But obviously the series has been a good read, and it's been a good story to see her progression in the sport.
Yeah, again, it's not always set up. It's maybe mounting tires or having a place to store your cart because you have an open trailer or, a place to crash for a night instead of sleeping in the back of the van. So yeah, again, just those little things that, again, that help, show why karting is really a family sport. And again, a great grassroots form of racing as well. And then finally, race reports provided by Rock Cup USA on the opening weekend of the Florida Winter Tour. So catch all of the race reports Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Race reports from St. Pete, the Tropicana field racing outside that. And did anything stand out from that weekend? Obviously, social media has been talking about a bunch of stuff, but is there anything else aside from that maybe that stood out for you?
I'd say Burrell back on top in a major category after what's felt like a while with Morgado.
Yeah, aside from shifter kart racing, on the single speed side of things, great to see Morgado get a victory in only a second weekend aboard the Burrell Art brand. Probably before I believe he'll be racing the February events here before he heads overseas. Not sure yet on that, but we'll kind of keep an eye on what he's doing and where he's going to go. So great, kind of great to see PSL Karting and Burrell Art back on top in the single speed category. Basically, I think it's been since Norberg was there, if I recall. Kremers and Diego Ramos have been there. They've had some podium fights, but no victories, I think, since then. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the season and see, again, the diversity of all the different chassis brands and all the different categories. EKN podcast review. Again, the latest podcasts to be released include the outlap for the SuperKarts USA Winter Series program, episode number 49, and then our debrief, episode 105 of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series from AMR Motorplex in Homestead. Again, download any and all of our podcasts available through iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and anywhere else that you download podcasts. Make sure you subscribe and give us a review and keep listening as we keep producing these podcasts that originate on the EKN Radio Network, the only 24-hour, 7 days a week channel committed only karting radio station in the world. So again, everything you hear in podcasts start off on the EKN Radio Network. So this episode of This Week in Karting will be playing tomorrow all day long. So you'll be able to enjoy that there as you're listening from home or at work or in the car. Again, download the app on your iPhone or listen to it on your laptop. Next, we'll continue on with our Challenge of the Americas rewinds along with the SuperKarts USA Winter Series. So we'll get some of those February weekends playing on the EKN Radio Network. And we'll continue with the challenge rewinds as we look forward to coming to the 2023 opener. That will be coming up in our What's Coming Up on EKN. Trackside Live will be February 3rd through the 5th at Challenge of the Americas Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona. So it'll be me and Rob Howden trackside again for our 13th season with the Challenge of the Americas. They're heading into their 16th year as a championship program, and excited to kick that weekend off. Nate, there's probably really only one thing you're kind of interested in on that weekend, and that's probably the OKN program.
Yeah, I think. Oh no, the Challenge of the Americas isn't something I've followed too closely before, so I think this year will be finally nice to actually dive in to that series and understand it, listen along to that, watch on Race Monitor, all that fun stuff. So it should be fun to watch.
Yeah, again, just interested to see how the debut of the OKN platform comes, along with the Rock Cup or Rock Shifter Junior category that will be making its debut that weekend as well. So see the number of the young drivers making the transition to 6-speed karting, and also the debut of the new Mini Rock carburetor. So we'll see, we'll have a lot of stuff to kind of go over on our Friday Paddock Insider and give you kind of the in-depth and news and notes of those stories along with more when we get trackside in Tucson, Arizona. And then the following weekend, you will be trackside with Rob, as I will be heading back home, and Rob will be heading over to Homestead, Florida for the final 2 rounds of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series program on February 10th through the 12th. Again, the final 2 rounds to decide this year's champions in the short Winter Series program. Excited to kind of see how the championships shake out. I think a lot of them are up for grabs. I think maybe the only one that's not could be Shifter Master or Master Shifter, where we had Scott Skitchy Barnes kind of dominate that weekend. But I think maybe Micro as well, too. Micro was another category where we saw Antonio Pizzonia Jr. grab both victories there as well. So some championship numbers are going to be crunching, I think, come Sunday morning, and as they move into the main events later that day, you'll be pretty busy there that weekend.
Yeah, we'll be busy. I think, like you said, Micro and Master Shifter are just the two categories that, with the 2-weekend format, it's never really locked up for going into a weekend.
Good point.
But Master and Micro are the two that are really show up and do a decent result, and you don't have to worry about it too much. Everything else, though, up for grabs. You have a handful of drivers that can mathematically win it. So should be very fun to see Sunday, some desperation setting in perhaps in some classes, but I'll have to wait and see.
Should I talk about rain right now so it doesn't happen?
Yeah, no, I will be packing all of my rain gear in hopes that I never have to use it, just to reverse the curse.
Yeah, and that's exactly reverse the curse. I love that. Yeah, try and get that voodoo medicine working so it doesn't rain. Again, you never know with Homestead and being in the state of Florida, you never know what's going to happen. But exciting to see how the racing unfolds. As you said, it'll probably be a very similar format to where you see Saturday not too aggressive, not so much craziness, and then come Sunday, that's when everything will be let loose. So again, follow us on social media. You'll be able to follow both events on social media and, of course, on the ECAN homepage, ekartingnews.com. And with that, we will wrap up this week in karting, episode number 58, with myself, David Cole, and Nate Dean. As again, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy our show. Make sure you download the podcast. Make sure you share it. Make sure you get our ECAN Radio Network app going. And again, follow us throughout both those weekends for coverage coming up here in the next 2 weeks. So again, thank you for tuning in. I am David Cole. Thanks you, Nate Dean, for joining us. And we'll see you next time.